Welcome into Palmer, Alaska here at Herman Brothers Field for tonight's contest between the visiting Peninsula Oilers and your Matsu Miners. The Miners come into this one off a tough loss last night in Chugiak, 7-1, which they were almost no hit as it took them all the way into the ninth to get their first hit, in which they did gather another one to get a first run across the board. Welcome into the broadcast. This is Brad Walker. Alongside me is Connor Mills, and we will bring you your Miners action tonight, much like we've been doing all season and will continue to be doing all season long for the Matsu Miners. The Miners come into this game 3-3. The Oilers come in visiting 4-2. Oilers atop of the ABL currently with that 4-2 record, and the Miners sit one game behind them. We'll run through the Oilers starting lineup right now. Leading things off, batting short, is Paul Kunst. Batting second, playing third, is Evan Berkey. Followed by him is first baseman Brian Leonhardt. Batting cleanup is catcher Ryan Cook, followed by second baseman Bryce Bigel. And in right, batting sixth, right fielder Matthew Kirk, followed by the center fielder Tyler Duke, and the designated hitter Michael York. And rounding things off in the ninth spot is left fielder Ryan Novus. On the mound for your Miners is big right-hander, number 38 out of Oklahoma, Jake Terry, making his Matsu Miner debut tonight. Terry just arrived a few days ago in Alaska from Oklahoma. This past spring, Terry appeared in 11 games, 12 innings pitched with a 3.0 ERA. Terry standing out there with that 6'4" frame. Definitely a big force on the mound for the Miners tonight. The Miners tonight looking to make it 5 straight, including last season against the Oilers as they finished off the year winning 4 straight, including 2 in a 2-0 playoff sweep best of 3 series in the semifinals last year. And we're ready to begin as Paul Kunst steps in, the shortstop, batting right-handed. Kunst comes into this one 6 of 19 early in this young season. The first pitch from Jake Terry misses high and in for a ball. We'll start this game with a 1-0 count. Terry, the tall right-hander, winds and delivers. He misses low and in the middle part of the plate. So Jake Terry, that big Oklahoma right-handed product, he winds and delivers the 2-0. Gets Kunst to swing through. Nice fastball there from Jake Terry. Kunst out of the University of San Diego. As Terry's 2-1. Another fastball hits that low and inside corner to tie up the count of 2. Jake Terry showing a lot of personality, noticing around the clubhouse and on yesterday's road trip to Chugiak. As his 2-2 is grounded over to short, Swift ranges over to his left, toss to first is in time for the first out of the inning. So Jake Terry, in his first start as a Matsu Miner, gets the leadoff batter Paul Kunst down on a ground out for out number 1 of the inning. That brings up the third baseman Evan Berkey for the Oilers. Berkey second on the team in RBIs with 5. He's 5 for 15 on this young season. He steps in from the right side of the plate. Terry's windup, and Berkey hits one high into left center field, ranging over, making the grab is Danny Wright for the second out of the inning. So Kunst goes down on 1 pitch as Terry gets him to fly out to left center field. 2 up, 2 down for Jake Terry. Seems to be cruising early here in his first ever Miners start. As the first baseman Brian Leonhardt takes a stand-in at the dish from the left side of the plate. As he looks at a ball high and outside, the Oilers leading the ABL as they are coming off a loss against the Bucks in their final game of a 6-game homestand. Terry's 1-0, fouled back over to the left side by Leonhardt. before the Oilers lost last night, they won 3 games, went 3 games straight. As Terry's 1-1, or rather 0-1 is in there for a strike. I beg your pardon. 1-1 was in there for a strike. The 1-2 from Terry misses low and away. 2-2. Terry likes to use that fastball. Comes in at high velocity. So he'll take a step on the rubber. Count tied up at 2. 2 down in the top half of the first inning. No runs so far on the board. Terry's 2-2 misses low and in. Count is full with 2 outs to Evan Berkey. So the righty on lefty matchup, count is full. Jake Terry will take a step off the mound, and as he was getting his grip, must have noticed some extra dirt on it as he returns that ball on home plate and gets a new one from home plate umpire. So the count is full. Terry on the mound. Winds the payoff pitch. Gets Leonhardt swinging through for the third and final out of the top half of the first inning. So Jake Terry, very efficient in the top half of the first inning, setting the Oilers down 1-2-3. When we come back, it'll be the bottom half of the first inning, and we'll see the Mat-Su Miners bats for the first time tonight on Mat-Su Miner Radio. Scoreless through the top half of the first inning for the Oilers as Jake Terry, in his first ever Mat-Su Miners start, looks pretty dominant to the first 3 Oilers batters. Mat-Su Miners step up to the plate in the bottom half of the first inning. Their starting lineup goes as follows. Leading things off is shortstop Drew Swift, followed by right fielder Hunter Jump, and in the 3 spot is third baseman Tyler Bozetti. In the cleanup spot, first baseman Aaron Walters, followed by designated hitter David Avitia. The catcher Austin Pinarini will follow him. And then the last 3 spots is left fielder Kona Quiggle, second baseman Connor Denning, and rounding things off in the 9-hole is center fielder Danny Wright. On the mound for the Oilers is Justin Jamie. He's appeared in 2 games so far for the Oilers, does have a 1-0 record in his relief appearances. Has given up no runs on no hits. So this is Jamie's first start of the season. So 2 starters today that are having their first starts of the year. Drew Swift steps in, the shortstop from Arizona State. Swift started out hot in the first few games here for the Miners. Has sort of slowed down entering the next few. Stands in today at home, though, where the Miners have been very efficient, getting 12 hits in their last game at Herman Brothers Field. First pitch from Jamie in the bottom half of the first inning. Misses low and away for ball 1. Justin Jamie, the right-hander, comes from the stretch. His 1-0 is lined over to right field from Swift. That's going to get over the right fielder's head and head to the wall. Swift around first, speeding into second, where he'll hold up for a leadoff double for the shortstop, Drew Swift. So Swift aggressive early, swinging on just the second pitch. Took the pitch on the outer half of the plate, hit it opposite field. Nice piece of hitting there for Swift. That brings up his collegiate teammate, Hunter Jump, and the right fielder. Jump the lefty will stand in. Jump 5 for 20 so far in this young season. Has brought in 3, and 4 of his 5 hits have been for doubles. The first pitch to jump misses low and away. Jamie falls behind 1-0. Swift out there on second. Definitely speedy out there on the base paths. Has stolen third once already this season. So the Miners, it took them 8 1/3 innings to get ahead last night. Takes them with their leadoff hitter tonight. So talk about a tale of 2 games as Jamie misses low and away for ball number 2. Swift out there on second, still scoreless. Swift on the move, jump swing, lines one into center. Swift is going to have to hustle back in time to not get double up, and he will make it as that was an errant throw there by the center fielder Duke into second. So the Miners luck out and do go give up and out, but luckily for them, Drew Swift can get back in time safely.
Swift all the way over to third, had to run a long way back to second. So good awareness by him to get back around and not cost the Miners a double play.
Score is still scoreless in the home half of the 5th inning with 1 out. Tyler Bozzetti, the third baseman, steps in from the right side of the plate. Jamie comes set. His first pitch to Bozzetti misses high and in. Just missed that zone. So Swift still stands on second as the Miners tried to execute a hit and run with Hunter Jump, who flew to center. Was on a line, but Swift did make it back safely. Jamie's 1-0. Misses high and in to Bozzetti. Bozzetti coming into this game 4 of 17 with 1 ribby. Bozzetti, last time we were home for the doubleheader against the Pilots, really had a great game. Couple extra base hits and some RBIs. The 2-0 offering misses. Has Bozzetti swinging in right side of foul territory where Leonhard runs down the ball to make the grab for out number 2 of the inning. As once again, the Miners had a hit and run on, but back-to-back batters have blasted one in the air. Unfortunately, the hit and run does not work.
We saw a lot of the hit and run against the Miners yesterday against the Chinooks. Miners now trying to reverse the script and do it against other teams.
That brings in the left-handed hitting first baseman, Aaron Walters, out of Texas A&M. Walters only 1 hit so far in his Miners campaign. Looking to change that, though. We've seen in practice, he's definitely has a lot of talent in the box. So with 2 outs and Swift still on second, Jamie's first pitch to Walters hits the outside corner for strike 1. Walters, the tall left-hander, stands at 6 foot from A&M. The 0-1 from Jamie. Fouled back over to the left side. So Jamie will get ahead in the count, 0-2. Swift still on second off that leadoff double. The Miners would definitely like to bring him across as the offense, much like the weather last night, was very cold. Score at 0-0 in the home half of the first inning. With 2 outs and 0-2 count to Walters, Jamie's pitch has Walters swinging through for out number 3 of the inning. So the Miners have an excitement off the bat with Drew Swift's leadoff double, but unfortunately go 3 down in a row to follow that up. So still scoreless at the end of 1 here at Herman Brothers Field in Palmer. We'll move into the second inning on Matsu Miners Radio. Scoreless first inning brings us into the top of the second inning here in Palmer. Oilers stand into the plate. They got set down in a row by the Miners right-hander Jake Terry, making his first career start as a Miner. As the catcher Ryan Cook steps in. The righty-on-righty matchup to start this second inning. Terry's first pitch is fouled back over the right side. Terry, a fastball dominant pitcher, really likes to locate that fastball all throughout the zone. His 0-1 offering is belted high into left field by Cook. On the move is Quiggle, and that one will one-hop the fence. Cook around first. He's into second standing, and the Oilers, to follow up the Miners' leadoff double, they do the same of their own here to start this second inning. Ryan Cook blasts one into left field, one hop in the wall to start this inning for the Oilers. And standing in now is Bryce Biggle, the second baseman, right-handed hitting. So back-to-back right-handed matchups to start this second inning. And with nobody out and one man on for the Oilers, that man in scoring position, they have a chance to grab an early lead. Terry misses high and away to his first pitch to Biggle. Biggle out of the University of Arizona. Miners have 2 Wildcats on the team. As Terry from the stretch, his pitch swung and missed by Biggle. Nice fastball again there from Jake Terry, as he loves to bring the cheddar. Terry comes set. Man on second for the Oilers, counts at 1-1. The pitch misses high and away. Bring the count to 2-1. Bit of a overcast day here in Palmer. Sort of been that way all day. This morning when we woke up, it was sunny, but the clouds just seem to be slowly moving in. Wind is little to none and no precipitation. So Terry glances over to second, takes his eye back on the plate, and the 2-1 is swung and missed again by Biggle, who sort of has a big sigh after swinging through another Terry fastball. You got to wonder if he's going to come with a breaking pitch on the 2-2, or if he tries the fastball again. Terry's 2-2 pitch gets Biggle swinging through another fastball. So Jake Terry, with his second strikeout of the night, retires the first Oiler. So with one out and a man on second, the right fielder Matthew Kirk will step in the plate. Kirk, the left-hander. And Kirk is 2 of 17 so far in this early campaign for the Oilers. As Terry steps off to take a deep breath. One down on the top of the second inning. No score. Oilers do have a man in scoring position, though, with only one out. Terry's first pitch to Kirk misses high. Jake Terry once again stepping off the mound. Seems to be some slight communication issues between him and the catcher, Austin Pinarini. This is obviously the first time these two have been in game action together. Terry's 1-0. That gets Kirk. I believe he swung through. He did. They say he went. So the count will be tied up at 1. And the Miners, sort of a rough pitching night last night, giving up 7 runs, went through 5 pitchers. So definitely looking for a strong start tonight from their right-hander, Jake Terry. His 1-1 gets Kirk to fly it over to the left side, foul, to go ahead in the count 1-2. The Miners come into this game with a team ERA of 4.1, which ranks 3rd in the ABL currently. Now, we're very early in the season. Teams through or anywhere from 5 to 7 games. So that could quite change where standings are very soon or game by game. As Terry's 1-2, Gets Kirk swinging. He lifts it in the left field, ranging back, making the grab is Quiggle for out number 2. As Cook will have to jog back to second off the grab by Quiggle. So Terry, for the second time tonight, gets an Oiler to fly out. And with 2 outs, center fielder Tyler Duke steps in. Duke on the season with 3 walks. So definitely a patient hitter from the right side of the dish. 2 outs in the top of the second inning. Still scoreless. Terry's first pitch to Duke misses low. Count moves to 1-0. Man on second for the Oilers. Off Ryan Cook's leadoff double. Terry kicks and delivers. He misses high and in. As Terry, as he lifted his knee, looked back to second, almost looked like he was going to do one of those moves where he lifts his knee and spins around, but instead went to the plate, almost like a lefty does when they look at first. Nevertheless, he misses for the second ball, and his 2-0 pitch just misses that low inside corner. Count 3-0. We mentioned Tyler Duke with 3 walks on the season, very patient guy, and he's ahead in the count 3-0, looking for his 4th walk. And Terry will miss, and Duke will earn that 4th walk of the season. And now runners on first and second for the Oilers.
Well, like you said, very patient. He knows what pitches he wants to swing at. And obviously he didn't see it in that at-bat, and he's on first.
That brings in the designated hitter, Michael Jorg. Jorg, the left-handed hitter, stands in with that open stance. Terry's first offering to him misses low and away for ball 1. So the Oilers not getting too much run production, as they are actually second to last in the league in runs scored with 22 throughout their first 6 games. Or rather, yes, 22 runs. As Terry's 1-0 misses low and in, and he walks off the mound and calls time, wants to talk to his catcher, Pinarini. This is probably a good decision, as Terry and Pinarini seem to be having communication issues all night long. Not all night long, rather, just throughout these first few beginning innings. Drew Swift joins them on the mound. Umpire asking the guys to break it up and head back to baseball. So Terry down in the count 2-0 to Michael Jorg, the San Diego, California native, and also attends the University of San Diego. Terry's 2-0 to the southpaw. Hits that low outside corner for strike 1. Nice pitch there from Jake Terry, painting that lower outside corner. So he gets back in after throwing 6 consecutive out of the zone and make that 7 of 8 now. That have been outside the zone for Terry. As York works his way into a hitter's count 3-1 with 2 out in the top of the second inning. Oilers have runners on first and second. Terry's pitch gets to York to swing through and foul off to the left side. So the count is now full.
Now the merry-go-round will be in motion with the full count.
Once again, the Oilers face a full count with 2 down. As they did in the first inning, Terry won that battle with a strikeout, looking to do much of the same here in the top of the second. Terry's payoff pitch gets Jorg to foul over to the right side. As the Oilers runners will be on the move with 2 outs and a full count. So if Jorg can get a base hit here, it may be the first run of the game, with Cook still standing on second off that leadoff double. Terry comes set from the stretch. The payoff pitch misses well high as it goes to the backstop. Pinarini couldn't quite get out of the crouch in time. So the bases are full now for the Oilers, as Terry gave up the leadoff double and then retired 2 in a row. And then after walking Tyler Duke, he walks another batter and Michael Yorg to load the bases. And the Oilers now in prime position to possibly get a run here with 2 outs in the top of the first inning. As we'll see a timeout called there by head coach, or rather pitching coach, Jeff Erlab. And with the break in the action, we'd like to thank our official sponsor of the Matsu Miners internet broadcast, the Napa Auto Parts of Alaska, and owner Jim Ruda, sponsoring the Napa Auto, or rather, Matsu Miners internet broadcast. Once again, the official sponsor of the Matsu Miners internet broadcast, Napa Auto Parts of Alaska, and owner Jim Ruda. Back in the action, we see all bases taken for the Oilers with 2 outs in the top of the first inning. Stepping in with the bases loaded is left fielder Ryan Novis. Novis 3 of 19 so far in this young campaign. So the right-hander, Ryan Novis, will face the right-hander Terry, who works out of the windup now with the bases loaded. He misses high and in for a ball. So the second inning, Terry having some command issues. Hasn't pitched in a bit. His 1-0. Fastball is popped up to the right side of the infield. Camped under it is Aaron Walters, who will make the grab just inside fair territory for out number 3. So Terry works his way out of a jam in the top half of the first inning. We're still scoreless here in Palmer on the Matsu Miners Internet Radio. Miners bats come up to the plate as we're still scoreless here at Herman Brothers Field in Palmer. As the Miners were almost no hit, I'd like to mention again yesterday's outing against the Chinooks, as they gathered 2 hits in the final inning to finally get their first run across in that tough loss yesterday, 7-1. But they look to get back on their winning ways tonight against the Oilers. And possibly helping their way to do that is standing in to lead off the inning, the right-handed hitting designated hitter David Avitia. Avitia making his first start at designated hitter this season. Normally he is a man behind the plate, sharing time with starting catcher tonight, Austin Pinarini. As Avitia comes into this game with 1 hit and 12 at-bats. He looks at a ball low and away. Vitia out of Grand Canyon and hails from Phoenix, Arizona. Vitia ranked the 3rd best catcher prospect in Arizona, according to perfectgame.com. He looks at a strike on the outside corner. So he's a highly talented prospect coming out of high school. So the 1-1 to Avitia has him swinging through for strike number 2. So 1 ball, 2 strikes. David Avitia to start this bottom half of the second inning. Avitia has drawn 3 walks, however, as he looks at 1-2 low and in for ball 2. Count evened up at 2. Justin Jamie on the mound, the right-hander out of Cal State Pueblo. As he misses the 2-2 low and away, it actually gathers all the way to the backstop.
Well, he held on to that ball a little bit too much. That's going to cause it to go all the way far outside.
So the count's full to David Avitia. The pitch. Avitia skies one up to the right side, slicing foul and out of play. It's actually a picnic bench out there in right field, just past those right side bleachers. Nice crowd gathered tonight here in Palmer. Chilly night, around 55 degrees. So we'll try this full count again. Jamie delivers. Vitia pops one up in the infield over to the left side. Under it is shortstop Kunst, who had to sort of jog around the shortstop spot, but finally gathers it for out number 1 of the inning. Austin Pinarini, the man behind the plate tonight, will stand into the dish. Bats from the left side, throws from the right side. With one down here in the bottom of the second inning, the Miners look to draw blood first. Jamie's first pitch to Pinarini misses high and away. Pinarini, the Washington native, also attends Gonzaga, who made it into the postseason regional play. As he looks at ball 2 high and outside. Pinarini, one of those late joins from the Miners, as I just said, was a part of that Gonzaga team that did make it to regionals for the NCAA Collegiate Baseball postseason. He looks at another ball blown away, so Pinarini has worked himself into a 3-0 count with one down in the bottom half of the second inning. The 3-0 from Jamie just barely nips that low outside corner for strike number 1. Hitters count for Pinarini, who's 3 for 8 to start this season. The 3-1 is popped over to the left side. Under it is third baseman Berkey to make the catch for out number 2 of the inning. So the Miners with 2 infield flyouts to start this inning. Not exactly the way you want to start. And this brings up left fielder Kona Quiggle. Quiggle, one of the hotter hitting bats in this Miners lineup. So far, 6 for 21 to start the season as he looks at a ball high and in. Quiggle has had some big doubles in this park as he looks at a strike on the low outside corner. So Quiggle stands in the big lefty, the slightly open stance, and swings through for strike number 2. That was a big swing there from Kona Quiggle. Almost swung out of his shoes just ahead of it. So with 2 outs in the bottom of the second, no score. Count at 1-2. Jamie's pitch from the stretch misses away. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Second inning, home half. No score. Jamie's 2-2. Swung on by Quiggle. That liner is going to drop in for a base hit as Novus thought about diving in, but instead decided to lay off and play it off the hop. So Kona Quiggle gets a 2-out single. Nice two-strike hitting from Quiggle. Just put a nice easy swing on it to slap one out in the left. And that brings up second baseman Connor Denning from Mesa Community College in Arizona. Another one of these Arizona natives. Denning, the switch hitter, batting lefty, facing the right-hander Jamie, as he takes a strike on the lower half of the plate. And Quiggle with an excellent jump down to second. That throw is not in time. Kona Quiggle actually started running before Jamie even started his kick. So guessed a little early, but it worked out for him as Quiggle steals second.
A really good jump from Kona Quiggle. He knew exactly when he wanted to go and got it.
So Kona Quiggle steals his second bag of the season off Jamie, as the pitch was a ball into Denning. And Denning now fouls one back to bring the count to 1-2. So the Miners have a runner in scoring position with 2 outs in the bottom of the second inning. Denning looks to drive in that first run of the game as Jamie comes, sets, and delivers. He gets Denning looking at strike 3 on the lower half of the plate, and that ends the inning. So the Miners do get a double, or rather a single, and a stolen base from Kona Quiggle, but he is left stranded, and we still have no score as we enter the third inning here on Matsu Minor Radio. So after the Miners go back-to-back innings, leaving one man on, we stay scoreless heading into this top half of the third inning. Jake Terry still on the mound for the Miners, has gone 2 shutout innings so far. And standing in is the Pilots' leadoff man, shortstop Paul Kunst from Novato, California. Kunst grounded out to short in his first at-bat of the inning. The right-hander stands in. So Terry's first pitch of the inning gets Kunst to foul it straight back into the netting right in front of our visitors box right next to us.
That went through the net, ball finding the hole, and we're not used to getting some foul balls back here.
We are not. There is a ball we mentioned in an earlier broadcast sitting right in front of us, hanging in the nets, as Terry's pitch misses high and in. Terry's 1-1. Misses low and in the dirt. So Jake Terry's sort of having some struggles with the command. Has not heard it, as when he's been put in jams, he's worked his way out of them. And now the count sits at 2-1 to Kunst. In the Oilers, even though they do lead the ABL currently with a 4-2 record, the batting hasn't been so hot. Their team average ranks last at 191 as Terry gets Kunst to swing through for the second strike of the inning. I'll mention that again, a 191 team average for the Oilers, as their pitching has given up 18 runs in total. As Terry's 2-2 gets Kunst to swing on the upper half of the plate for round number 1 of the inning. Nice pitch there from Jake Terry. Comes at Paul Kunst with the high cheddar, and he can't catch up to it. 1 down in the top of the third inning. No score between the Oilers and Miners. And stepping in is third baseman Evan Berkey out of La Quinta, California. He looks at a ball in the dirt for ball number 1. In the first inning for Berkey, he flew out to center. Terry's 1-0. Gets Berkey to foul it over to the right side. This time not coming into our press box. And on this Oilers roster, as Terry's 1-1, is lined over to second. Denning with the nice backhand stop and throw over to first for out number 2 of the inning. Real nice play there from second baseman Connor Denning.
Now batting first baseman number 26, Brian Leonhardt.
So with 2 outs in the inning, first baseman Brian Leonhardt steps in. He struck out back in the first inning. The lefty out of San Diego State. And as I just mentioned, 4 high school players on this Oilers roster. As Terry misses from the wind, low and in. Now going back to this Oilers pitching staff, they actually do have the least amount of runs given up in the league. As Terry's 1-0 is blasted into right field. This one has a chance. If it's fair, it's gone. And it is. So the Oilers strike first with a 2-out home run from first baseman Brian Leonhardt. As they originally, the first base umpire called it foul and then changed his mind. Rather, I believe he may have just given up the wrong signal. After he made the call, he shortly turned around to apologize to first base coach for the Oilers. Nevertheless, the Oilers striking first in this game
Now batting catcher number 20,
with
Ryan Cook.
2 outs in the top of the third. Brian Leonhardt hits 1 out. So stepping in is Ryan Cook. He looks at a ball high and in following the Leonhardt home run. As Terry bounces one and misses it. And actually, the Oilers now move into first place in total home runs. They have 2 now on the season, as that was Leonhardt's first home run of the season as well. So Terry missing 2 outside the zone early to Cook. He looks to bring back the command with the 2-0. Misses high and in once again. Count moves to 3-0. So the Oilers off the solo shot lead 1-0 in the top of the third inning. There's 2 down. The 3-0 pitch from Jake Terry hits the lower inside corner for strike 1. As Ryan Cook took a step to first, thinking that was ball 4. Terry's 3-1, winds and delivers. He misses, bouncing it into the outside part of the plate. And wanting to talk to him is Austin Pinarini. Makes a slight jog over to the mound. Talk to his young pitcher who has just given up a home run and then walked Cook on 5 pitches. Pinarini trying to calm down his young right-hander. Two down in the top of the third inning. And Palmer. Oilers leading the Miners 1-0. And the Miners trying to get a win tonight. That would make a 3-way tie at the top of the ABL between the Oilers, Pilots, and Miners. So with 2 down, Oilers have a runner on, and Terry blows a fastball by right-handed hitting Bryce Biggle. Terry takes a glance over to first and comes set. His 0-1. Misses low in the dirt, gets past Pinarini, and advancing to second on the pass ball is Ryan Cook. Once again, another low fastball for Jake Terry. He's had a few in the dirt tonight. This is the first one that's gotten by Pinarini as the count moves to 1-1. Bryce Biggle struck out swinging last inning in his first at-bat. With 1-1 count, man in scoring position, ball gets behind Pinarini, just slowly dribbled behind his feet, and as he was spinning trying to grab it, couldn't quite pick it up. So Ryan Cook will advance to third on another passed ball. As once again, Jake Terry has the home plate umpire allowing him to choose which ball he wants. Count it 2-1 to Bryce Big L. So Terry will work out of the windup now with a man on third for the Oilers. They have 2 outs in the top of the third, and they hold a 1-run lead. The 2-1 pitch fouled off to the left side by Big L. So count tied up at 2 with 2 outs in the home half of the visiting half of the third inning. Jake Terry looking for that third and final out. His 2-2. Gets Big L. Flies it over to the right side, but slicing foul. Well out of range of right fielder Hunter Jump. That lands, and the count stays at 2. Terry stands on the mound, the right-handed thrower. His 2-2 pitch misses high and inside for ball 3. So count sits at full with 2 down. We've seen this twice tonight. So Terry shaking off a few pitches from Peninsula as Big L calls time to fix his batting gloves. As he steps back in the box and Terry toes the rubber. From the wind, Terry has the payoff pitch. Misses low for ball 4. So Jake Terry with another 2-out walk.
Now batting right fielder number 8, Matthew Kirk.
His 4th walk of the game. So Jeff Erlab will take a mound visit again to talk to his young pitcher, Jake Terry.
And at this time, the Alaskan Railroad and Operation Lifesaver would like to remind our friends and neighbors, when approaching railroad crossing, always expect a train. Look, listen, live.
Hey, folks, well, we got a moment. I want to let you know.
So as we have this break in the action,
And get something out of the deal yourself.
or rather,
A jar of peanut butter.
now there is not a break in the action as Jeff Erlab now walking back to the dugout. So runners on the corners for the Oilers. They did get a solo shot from Brian Leonhard earlier in the inning with 2 down. And ever since then, the Oilers have been rolling, drawing 2 walks as Ryan Cook advanced all the way over to third off 2 pass balls. And Bryce Big L just reached on first with a walk. So Matthew Kirk steps in, the left-handed hitting right fielder. Kirk flew out to left in his first at-bat. He stands in and looks to increase this Oilers lead with runners on the corners and 2 down. Terry from the stretch misses low for ball 1. So Terry, who came out the gates on fire to start this game, 3 up, 3 down, hasn't necessarily been struggling, but has just slowed down a bit since that point. Terry's 1-0, misses low and in, and the man on first, Big L, will steal second without a throw. Peninsula thought about throwing down, but there was no middle infielder there for the Miners. And with 2 outs, that may have been a smart decision to throw down to try to get the out. Jake Terry will now work from the wind with runners on second and third. His 2-0 misses low and in to bring the count to 3-0. So Kirk working working ahead in the count, 3-0. Runners on second and third for the Oilers as they lead 1-0 in the top half of the first inning. Terry's 3-0 is grounded over to first. Walters picks it up and will call off Terry, make the play himself for the 3rd out of the inning. The Oilers strike first with a solo shot from Brian Leonhardt in the top half of the 3rd inning to give them Oilers a 1-0 lead over the Miners. We'll be right back on Matsu Miners Radio. Oilers lead the Miners 1-0 entering the bottom half of the third inning. And in that top half of the third inning, the Oilers got a solo shot from Leonhardt. The second team home run of the season. Leonhardt's first as the Miners look to tie this back up in the home half of the third. Due up for the Miners is Swift, Jump, and Bozzetti. As the Miners and the Oilers split the regular season series 7-7, but the Miners ended up grabbing the overall series due to the 2-0 series win in the playoffs. And rather, beg your pardon, Danny Wright steps in. So the Miners go 9-1-2 to start this home half of the third inning. Danny Wright looks at a ball inside. Wright, the center fielder, is actually currently third in batting average and tied for fourth in RBIs in the ABL. And Wright, ever since the beginning of the season, has been up there in batting average. So definitely a nice start for Danny Wright as he blasts one into center field. Camped under it is Duke. Can of corn for out number one.
Now batting your shortstop, number 2, Drew Swift.
So now coming up to the plate is the right-handed hitting shortstop, Drew Swift. Swift led off the bottom of the first inning with a double. Ended up being stranded on second, but it was a nice piece of hitting from Drew Swift. So with one out, Jamie from the stretch deals, misses, low and away for ball one. Swift, so far on the season, has 4 stolen bases out there on the base pass as Swift grounds one over to third. Berkey fields, throws over to first, makes the play in time for out number 2 of the inning.
Now batting right fielder, number 14, Hunter Jump.
That brings up the big bat of right fielder Hunter Jump, who now is 6 for 21 on the season following his flyout back in the first inning. Jump's been batting sort of in the middle of the lineup in the 3, 4, and 5 spots. First time this season, he's in the second spot. He looks at a inside ball. Hunter Jump, as I mentioned, teammates with Drew Swift, and also another Sun Devil on this Miners squad is right-handed pitcher Brady Corrigan. And Jump gets all over one, but it's foul. Over to the right side for the first strike in this at-bat. So Arizona State represented very well up here in Palmer. As Jamie looks down for the 1-1. His pitch misses low and in again. Bring the count to 2 balls, 1 strike. 2 outs for the Miners. They look for their first hit of this inning in their second hit, or rather third hit of the game. Quiggle doubled back in the second as Jump lines one into center for a base hit. So the Miners have so far gotten a hit an inning so far with 3 hits through 3 innings. Nice base hit there from Hunter Jump with 2 outs. Blasted one right above the head of Jamie. And now stepping in is the right-handed hitting Tyler Bozzetti. Flew out in his first at-bat. Back in the first inning, now has a man on first with 2 outs. And Miners trailing 1-0 in the bottom half of the third inning. Off the Oilers' solo shot in the top half of the first inning. Oh, first pitch into Bozzetti is high and in for ball 1. Bozzetti this season has come around and scored 3 times. He's drawn 2 walks so far on this young season. Bozzetti only striking out once through 17 at-bats, so has done a very good job of getting the ball in play, making the defense work for an out. Jamie's 1-0. Looks at a strike inside, tie up the count at 1. Miners have scored 26 runs throughout their first 6 games, which stands for 3rd in the ABL. And have definitely been aggressive on the base paths with 8 stolen bases, as Jamie's 1-1 misses high and in for 2-1. They're tied for 3rd in the ABL with 8 stolen bases. Have only been caught once. So head skipper Ben Taylor liking his Miners to run around the bases. Jamie comes set. Will throw over to first to check Hunter Jump. Jump's lead over there on first isn't too big. Only a few steps off, so he dives back safely again. The Miners in the home whites tonight. White jersey, white pant, with green lettering with a yellow trim. Same with the numbers. And a green hats and helmets. As Bozzetti fouls back the 2-1 to tie up the count at 2. The Oilers with the black jerseys, red lettering and numbering, with a white outline around it, and the gray pants with a black and white hat. So Bozzetti's count 2-2. The pitch from Jamie misses low and gets all the way to the backstop as it gets past Cook. And Hunter Jump will advance to second on the passed ball. So now the Miners have a runner in scoring position with 2 outs. Tyler Bozzetti looking to come through here for the Miners. Has an RBI on the season, as he has Jump out there in second. His count is full with 2 outs in the bottom of the 3rd. Miners trailing the Oilers 1-0. Jamie comes set. Looks over at first. Jump getting an aggressive lead as no one is holding him on. Bozzetti blasts one in the left, calling everyone off as Novus, who runs up and under it and will make out number 3. So the Miners leave one stranded in the bottom of the 3rd inning and still trail the Oilers 1-0 as we head into the 4th inning here on Matsu Miners Radio.
Welcome back into the top half of the 4th inning. Connor Mills, Brad Walker with you. The Oilers are leading the Miners 1-0 off of a home run from Brian Leonhard. Tyler Duke stepping in at the plate, the center fielder. Jake Terry still on the mound for the Miners, and the first pitch in from Terry is taken inside for ball number 1. Tyler Duke, an outfielder, a junior from Murray State University, from Pinson, Alabama, as he swings through this pitch to even up the count at 1-1. So Terry was able to pitch out of some jams early on, only giving up 1 run on the home run as his pitch is in there for a called strike. Count is now 1-2. We're coming to you live from Herman Brothers Field here in Palmer, Alaska, as Terry's pitch is too far inside. Once again, the count is even at 2-2. Terry to Duke. Too low for ball number 3. Full count from Terry to Tyler Duke. And the pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. Tyler Duke angry with himself swinging through that one, but Terry gets a strikeout. So that's the first out here in the top half of the 4th inning. The designated hitter coming to the plate, Michael Jorg. Jorg batting from the left side. Terry pitching from the windup. And the pitch in the dirt. Too low and inside for ball number 1. Jorg today got on base with a walk. Didn't go anywhere. He was part of the bases loaded logjam that Terry was able to pitch out of. And he's swinging a foul ball off to the left side. Evens up the count at 1-1. 1-1, 1 out. Here in the top of the 4th. Oilers over the Miners, 1-0. Terry's pitch swung on and fouled straight back and out of the ballpark. That brings the count to 1-2. This is the first game against the Oilers this season. It's the Oilers' first road game. They had 6 home games before this, as Duke Jorg singles into center field for his second time on base. So Jorg is on first with a single. Ryan Novis coming up to the plate, the left fielder. Novis from St. Mary's College in Tempe, Arizona. Terry from the stretch. And the pitch into Novis is too low for a ball. 1-0 the count, 1 out, runner on first. Oilers are leading the Miners here in the top of the 4th inning. Oilers 3 hits, 1 run. Miners 3 hits, no runs. Once again from the stretch. And the pitch from Terry is popped up into right center field. Who's going to catch it? It's going to be the center fielder, Danny Wright. He secures a catch, and out number 2. Ryan Norvis is retired. That brings up the top of the lineup for the Oilers. Paul Kunst, the shortstop. Kunst from the University of San Diego, Nevada, California. Today so far in 2 trips to the plate. Grounded out to short and struck out. Terry looked to get him out once more. And bring the Miners to the plate in the bottom of the 4th. The first pitch, this one's popped up into left field. Kona Quiggle coming in. It's going to be the shortstop. Nope, it's going to be Quiggle. Calling off Drew Swift to get the 3rd out of the top of the 4th. So not much happening here for the Oilers. They have 1 hit, no runs, no errors, 1 left on base as the Matsu Miners are coming to the plate in the bottom of the 4th. You're listening to the Matsu Miners on the Miner Radio.
Now take the mound for the Oilers out of Bonita, California, and San Diego State University, number 25.
New pitcher on the mound as we are entering into the bottom half of the fourth inning. Pitcher Trey Brown.
Your first baseman, number 15,
Brown slated as
Walter.
6'3". Bats right, throws right. Sophomore from San Diego State in Bonita, California. His first batter will be Aaron Walters, first baseman for the Miners, and the pitch is taken too far outside for ball number 1. Well, looks like home plate umpire is pointing at something towards the left side. Not sure what, but one of the Oilers players is going to jog on down and remove something from the field. Looks to be a tarp as the pitch is blasted into right field, but Walters' ball is staying in the park as Kirk makes the catch for out number 1. So while we were looking left, the game was going right, as that's the first out of the bottom of the fourth. Designated hitter David Avitia flew out in his only time at the plate. He's going to look to get things straight with a single. Avitia's struggling as of late, but he's put in the extra work as he pops this one over to the right side in foul territory, slashing towards the Miners' bullpen, and it lands foul. So the first pitch into Avitia from Brown is fouled off. No balls, 1 strike, 1 out here in the bottom of the fourth. It's the Oilers over the Miners, 1-0. And the pitch to Avitia, a check swing, and he goes around for strike number 2. So Avitia quickly behind in the count 0-2. Trey Brown pitching from the stretch and strikes out Avitia. David Avitia goes down swinging for the second out of the inning. That brings up his catching counterpart, Austin Pinarini. Avitia designated hitting today. Pinarini behind the plate. He bats from the left side. Trey Brown, with nobody on base, has been pitching from the stretch. A true relief pitcher. As he gets ready for pitch number 1. In there for a called strike to Pinarini. 0-1 the count, 2 outs. Miners looking for a run here as a pitch sails too far outside to even up the count at 1-1. Pinarini, his first time up, flew out to the third baseman, Barkley. And the pitch from Brown. This one's popped up towards the right side and slicing into foul territory. First baseman Leo Hart makes the catch, and the side is retired. So not much happening for the Miners here in the bottom of the fourth. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. You're listening to the Matsu Miners on the Miner Radio. Welcome back into the top of the fifth inning. Matsu Miners are trailing the Peninsula Oilers 1-0 off of a Leonhardt home run. The solo home run is the only score here in the game. Number 2 batter, Evan Berkeley, comes into the plate. He flew out to center and grounded out to second in his 2 trips as he takes the first pitch from Jake Terry high and inside for a ball. The official sponsor of the Matsu Miner Internet broadcast, Napa Auto Parts of Alaska, Jim Ruta, the owner. As this pitch from Terry is fouled off towards the left side and out of play. Also, Miners giveaway jersey. Go to your locally owned and operated Napa store to enter and win. Once again, the official sponsor of the Matsu Miner Internet broadcast, Napa Auto Parts of Alaska, and Jim Ruta. So 1-1 count into Berkey. And the fastball misses for ball number 2. 2 balls, 1 strike, nobody out here in the top of the fifth. Pitching from the windup is Terry. As this pitch is swung on and lifted into left field. Kona Quiggle eyeing it up, coming in a couple steps, making the one-handed grab, and there's one away. So Jake Terry retires the first batter in the top of the fifth. And here comes the only score of the game. Leonhardt with a solo home run back in the top of the third inning. Terry looked to keep him in the ballpark this time, as the first pitch is too low and inside. 1-0 the count, 1 out.
I wonder the way Terry's going to attack Leonhardt right here.
And this pitch is lifted into center field. Danny Wright's moving back a couple steps, circling under it, and makes the grab. So Terry able to keep Leonhardt in the ballpark, as there are 2 away here in the top of the fifth inning. Ryan Cook, now the batter. Cook in the top of the second reached base with a leadoff double, and then reached base again on the top of the third with a walk. Advanced all the way to third with the stolen base and a pass ball. He steps in against Terry, and the pitch. This one is a change-up in there for a called strike. Terry getting ahead of the count, 0-1. Pitch from Terry, too far in the dirt. So that's going to even up the count at 1-1. Once again, this is the first game against the Oilers. First time the Miners are seeing them. Oilers hail from Kenai, Alaska. That's the longest trip in the Alaskan Baseball League for the Miners. And the pitch from Terry swung on and missed for strike number 2. 1-2, 2 outs here in the top of the fifth inning. Oilers leading the Miners 1-0. The pitch from Terry is swung on and fouled straight back. So 1-2, the count remains. Ryan Cook batting from the right side, and the payoff pitch is in the dirt. So that evens up the count at 2-2. Home plate umpire is going to do the catcher, Austin Pinerini, a little favor, give him some time to shake off the ball as that came up to hit him in the hand. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the top of the fifth. The pitch from Terry. Swung on and popped fly, and it goes straight back and out of play. Noah Cordova warming up in the Miners' bullpen along the right field line. Terry hoping to take care of the top of the fifth as he has 2 outs. The 2-2 from Terry. Swung on and lined left. and foul, as that one goes out of play. So Jake Terry looking to get out of the inning. 1, 2, 3. As he battles in here against Ryan Cook. The 2-2 to Cook. This one is swung on towards the left side and foul. This one stays inside the ballpark, but not in fair play. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here on the top of the 5th. Bullpen is stopped. Everybody watches, and the pitch sails high and inside. That goes full. 3-2 the count to Ryan Cook. Nobody on base. Outfield straight away. Terry from the windup and the pitch. Swung on a miss, strike 3. He got him. So Jake Terry settles down 1, 2, 3 as the Oilers still lead the Matsu Miners 1-0. Miners coming to the plate in the bottom of the 5th. You're listening to the Matsu Miners on the Miner Radio. Mugshot Saloon, Palmer Bar, and Panhandle Bar and Tudor Bingo. Your official sponsor of the Matsu Miners, Pull Townsend Gaming License Usage, and the Nugget Booster Club gaming sponsor, Big Valley Bingo. We find ourselves here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Oilers leading the Miners 1-0. Kona Quiggle stepping up to the plate. He bats from the left side. Remaining on the mound is Trey Brown. Brown still pitching from the set. And this one is lined into center field. Kona Quiggle on base yet again with the leadoff single. So Kona Quiggle had a single in the 2nd, adds a single here in the bottom of the 5th, and the Matsu Miners are in business as they look to scratch across a run, as that's all they need to tie this game. Connor Denning, Danny Wright, Drew Swift due up. Denning at the plate.
Another nice line drive single into center for Kona Quiggle, much like he did back in the 2nd inning.
First pitch into Denning is too far outside. He attempts a bunt, pulls it back. Not a bad idea for the Miners to try to produce some offense. Something that has been lacking over the past 2 days. As another bunt attempt, this one is popped up and foul onto our net here, the press box. That puts the count at 1-1.
And we'll add to the collection as that ball sits in on the net. Now we have 2 baseballs sitting on the netting in front of us.
Gonna need a big ladder to go out and get those. The 1-1 to Denning is attempted at a bunt. He misses. It's a strike. So 1-2 the count. Nobody out here in the bottom of the 5th. Kona Quiggle stands on first. Connor Denning at the plate. Trey Bound on the mound. Brown pitching from the stretch. Denning ground ball just fouled towards the right side. First baseman Leonhardt picks it up. So 1-2 the count as it remains. Third base is in on the grass. First baseman Leonhardt holding on. Quiggle at first. From the stretch. And the pitch is too far high and outside for ball number 2. 2-2 the count to Connor Denning. Making a start today at second base. Brett Owen has been at second for the majority of the games. And the pitch to Denning taken on the outside corner for a ball. So the count runs full at 3-2. Kona Quiggle quickly hopping off the bag at first. Looking to make some noise over there. Trey Brown set and he deals. This ball is swung on and hit into right center field. Right fielder Kirk is under it, makes a grab, and 1 away. So Connor Denning gets a bat on the ball, but just finds a person out in right field.
Yeah, and it's just not quite hot enough yet for that ball to really start sailing in the outfield. We did see, obviously, a homer earlier in the game for Leonhardt of the Oilers. But that was just a real true shot out there.
So with the fly out from Denning brings up Danny Wright. As we've said before, coming into the game, he was 3rd on the list in batting average here in the ABL. Switch hitter on the left side. Takes the first pitch in from Brown for a called strike. We're coming to you live from Herman Brothers Field here in Palmer, Alaska. Connor Mills, Brad Walker with you on the call. Pickoff attempt. And Quiggle is back diving. First baseman Leonhardt holding him on. Third baseman on the grass. This one's a ground ball over to the right side. Just foul. That brings a count to 0-2.
Right, tried to check his swing, but as he did, the ball was right there and squiggled over to the right field line.
And pickoff attempt over at first. Not in time. Quiggle back diving. Short and second are back in position for a double play. Danny Wright at the plate, and Quiggle goes off running. This one is swung on and fouled off by Danny Wright, and Quiggle will have to return to first base. So a little hit and run action from the Miners, as again, they are looking for that offensive production.
Once again, Quiggle with that very early jump before Brown could even kick his leg. He did it back in the second inning with Jamie. So the Oilers have to keep track of that, or else Quiggle is just going to steal second with ease.
Quiggle reading the pitchers very well here in the game. Short lead from Kona at first, and they're going to try to pick him off. And it's not in time. So after looking to go hit and run, Quiggle's being checked on once again at first. That was the third. And make it a fourth pickoff attempt. Not in time.
Leonhardt with nice glove work over there on first, really quickly trying to apply that tag.
That's what's nice about being a lefty first baseman. So Trey Brown deals on the pitch out. And nothing's working for the Miners as count now goes to 1-2. 1-2, 1 out here in the bottom of the fifth. Oilers leading the Miners 1-0. The pitch into right is taken low. to even up the count at 2-2.
I think with Quiggle running, and now Brown is thrown over multiple times, that base runner and Quiggle is in Brown's head, therefore showing the pitching struggles in the latter half of this at-bat.
From the stretch, this one swung on and grounded over into the hole on the right side for a base hit. Quiggle stays at second base, and Danny Wright is now on first with a single of his own. So 2 singles, one from Quiggle, one from Wright, and the Miners only have 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th with the top of the order coming up.
Now batting your shortstop, number 2, Drew Swift.
Quiggle at second, Wright at first, Drew Swift at the plate. They're looking to get to Trey Brown, who came in on relief for Justin Jamie. Jamie went 3 innings, allowed 3 hits, no runs, no walks, and 2 strikeouts. So a runner in scoring position for Matsu with Drew Swift at the plate. The righty Trey Brown, first pitch into Swift, is in there for a called strike. 0-1 the count, 1 out. Runners at first and second. 5 hits now for the Miners. They trail the Oilers 1-0. Looking to change that here. The second pitch into Swift is in there for another called strike. Count now sits at 0-2. Swift in the game, he led off with a double and then grounded out to the third baseman. He's looking to put the ball in play as he has 2 strikes against him. The 0-2 to Swift, taken on the outside corner for a ball. One, 2, 1 out. The pitch to Swift, swung on and fouled straight back. Count remains a 1-2.
Swift could deliver with another extra base hit like he did back in the first inning. That'd be huge for the Miners, bringing definitely across 1, maybe even 2.
So the 1-2 with runners at first and second. Swift lifts this one into center field. Duke is under it, makes the catch. Quiggle fakes like he's going to tag up, but he's going to stay at second. So now there are 2 away here in the bottom of the 5th.
Now batting your right fielder,
Hunter
14,
Jump
Hunter
stepping into the
Jump.
plate. Jump will bat. Today in the game, he flew out to center field and then singled in the bottom of the 3rd. As it looked like we're going to have a chat on the mound. Pitching coach Ryan Duran looking to settle down Trey Brown, and Brown looking to escape some trouble here with runners at first and second.
And Cordova's still up in the Miners' pen. He's been warming up for a bit, ever since last inning, really, when the Oilers had a few on.
David Avita catching the bullpen there, even if he's not starting behind the plate today's game, he's always catching.
And with only 2 catchers on the roster, you're going to see that all season long.
Aaron Walters also known to catch a little bit. Haven't seen him suit up in the catcher's gear yet. But now a fresh count to Hunter Jump. First pitch to him is taken outside for ball 1. As we said, Jump flew out to center, had a single in the 3rd, and looks to get another hit right here. That would bring in Quiggle from second base. Pitch from Brown is fouled back and out of play to even up the count at 1-1.
This would be a great time to see one of those Hunter Jump doubles.
Hunter Jump batting from the left side. Jump coming into the game, batting .250. And this one's lined into second base and caught. Biggle catches a line drive from Hunter Jump, and the Miners are retired here in the bottom of the 5th. So 2 hits, no runs, no errors, 2 left on base for the Miners. As the Oilers are coming to the plate in the top of the 6th. You're listening to the Matsu Miners on the Miner Radio. We're here in the top of the 6th inning. New pitcher on the mound for the Miners. Noah Cordova coming in for relief on Jake Terry. Terry in today's game went 5 innings, allowed 3 hits, 1 run on the home run, allowed 4 walks, and got 5 strikeouts. Noah Cordova, a right-hander, 6'6", the tallest on the Miners roster. 195 pounds from Chandler Gilbert Community College. His first pitch is in there for a called strike. Bryce Biggle at the plate. So far today, Biggle struck out and reached base via the walk. Pitch from Cordova is in the inside corner for a called strike. He's ahead 0-2. So in addition to being from Chandler Gilbert, he's a sophomore there, and also his hometown is Gilbert, Arizona. The 0-2 swung on and missed, strike 3. So he gets Bryce Biggle striking out for the first out of the top of the 6th. So good work from Noah Cordova as he comes in for relief of Jake Terry. Leads us off here in the top of the 6th with a strikeout. He faces Matthew Kirk. Batting from the left side. The first pitch is too far outside for ball 1. Cordova started 1 game for the Miners, as this pitch is in there for a called strike. Evens up the count at 1-1. Went 3 2/3 of an inning, allowed 1 hit, 2 runs, 1 was earned, 5 walks, and 1 strikeout. Make that 2 strikeouts on the season. His ERA sitting right now around 2.46. With the last pitch, brings a count of 2-1. 1 out here in the top of the 6th. The 2-1 is on the outside for a called strike. 2-2. So Cordova working quickly and working out of the stretch. A lot of relievers ditching the windup in favor of the stretch. The 2-2 swung on and fouled off towards the left side and out of play. So only 1 out here. scoreboard is indicating 2, but we know there's 1. As this one's grounded over to shortstop. Third baseman's going to walk over, cut him off, throw over, and it's going to be in time for the second out of the inning. Nice work from Bassetti as he had the momentum to come in and charge the ball and fire it over to first for out number 2.
Yeah, I think that was a smart play. That was a weak chop over there short. And right at the last second, Bozzetti darted in front of Swift to make the play. But as you said, with the momentum, it makes sense to have the third baseman make that play rather than the shortstop galloping up a slow grounder and trying to throw over.
First pitch into Tyler Duke is a ball low and outside. And Swift, he has a great arm, but, the momentum was for Bassetti. He had the better play on it, and he made a good play. So the second pitch in from Cordova is too far inside for ball number 2. 2-0 the count, 2 outs here in the top of the 6th. Oilers still leading the Miners 1-0. Cordova gets Duke swinging for strike number 1. We thank you for joining us wherever you are, from the East Coast to New Jersey, all the way to California, or even here out in Alaska. Cordova runs a count to 3-1. So 3-1 the count, 2 outs here in the top of the 6th. Cordova from the stretch, and he deals. And he misses just inside as he walks Tyler Duke. I'll bring up Michael Jorg, designated hitter. Jorg so far today reached base on a walk and singled in the 4th. Batting from the left side of the plate, as Cordova will deal with his first base runner of the day. The pitch to Jorg, too far outside for ball number 1. One or another count, 2 outs here in the top of the 6th. Noah Cordova looking to have a clean inning. Cordova looking over at first from the stretch, and the pitch is taken on the outside corner for a strike. Evens up the count at 1-1. So Michael Jorg, the 8 hitter, should he get on base, will bring up Ryan Novus. Cordova looking to not make that happen as his pitch is too far outside for ball number 2. 2-1 the count. 2 outs. Runner on first for Cordova. Looking to bring the Miners' bats to the plate in the bottom of the 6th. Cordova's pitch swung on and lifted into right field. Hunter jumped moving back near the wall, and he makes a one-hand grab. So a 1-2-3-4 inning for Noah Cordova in his first inning of relief. No hits, no runs, no errors. 1 left on base for the Oilers. The Miners are coming to the plate in the bottom of the 6th. You're listening to the Matsu Miners on the Miner Radio. Sponsor of the 2018 Matsu Miners Baseball Pacific Northwest Regional Council of Carpenters and Carpenters Union Local 1281. We're here in the bottom of the 6th inning with a new pitcher on the mound for the Oilers. He's looking to keep the Miners scoreless. Miners have 5 hits today, but no runs. 3 hits, 1 run for the Oilers. Erickson Fish on the mound facing off against Tyler Bassetti. First pitch into Bassetti is taken for a called strike. Final line on Trey Brown. 2 innings pitched, 2 hits, no runs, none were earned, no walks, and 1 strikeout. Erickson Fish. Second pitch into Bassetti is swung on and missed for strike number 2. Fish, listed as 6'4", 230 pounds, a senior at Hope International, and an Alaska native from Sitka, Alaska. He faces the right batting Tyler Bassetti. That pitch is taken too low and outside for ball number 1. 1-2 the count, no outs. We have not yet seen the sun here at Herman Brothers Field, as Bassetti does not go around. A check swing from Bassetti goes in his favor, and it's going to be ball number 2.
That was right on the edge. Call either way could have been made, but luckily Bassetti gets bailed out.
So the count is now 2-2. Nobody out here in the bottom of the 6th. Miners in search for their first run, and the pitch to Bassetti is found straight back. And we'll do it all over again. Bassetti so far today popped up to the first baseman and flew out to left field. He's looking for his first hit. The pitch into Bassetti. Swung on and grounded right back to the pitcher Fish. Underhand toss over to first, in time, 1 away. So a little grounder from Bassetti back to the pitcher. He fires it in time for the first out here in the bottom of the 6th. That will bring to the plate Aaron Walters. Walters so far on the season been struggling at the plate a little bit, but we know he has a lot of talent. He's always showing up before the game, getting his extra reps. And he's brand new to the Miners as he looks to hit his groove as he takes the first pitch in from Fish for a ball.
That's what's been impressive for this Miners team. All of them willing to put in that extra work, showing up early and getting in those extra hits, and the pitchers coming in, getting it early, getting their extra work in.
The pitch into Walters is taken for a ball, 2-0. The 2-0 to Walters is a curveball in there for a strike. Brings the count at 2-1. So far, Walters struck out in the first inning and had a long fly ball to right field. And the pitch. This one's grounded towards the right side in foul territory. Hustling as always, Braden Merritt coming out of the dugout and going into the outfield, tossing it over to a young fan. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. The pitch over to Walters is on the outside corner for a ball. Walters working the count full. The deepest count he's worked today. And the payoff pitch swung on and popped into center field, moving towards his right is center fielder Duke. He makes the catch, and there are 2 away. Aaron Walters being able to give it a ride, but not enough. David Avitia, the designated hitter, batting in from the right side. His last time up in the bottom of the 4th, he struck out, and in the 2nd flew out to the shortstop as he swings at this one and misses for strike number 1. Erickson Fish from the set. Curveball. Too far inside. Evens up the count of 1-1. 1-1, 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th. Miners trailing the Oilers 1-0 as they look for their first run. The pitch to Avitia is taken for a ball. 2 balls, 1 strike to David Avitia, the designated hitter today. And the pitch. Swung on and fouled off towards the left side in foul territory. That evens up the count at 2-2 with 2 outs. And the pitch to Avitia. Swung on and grounded over to third base. Third baseman has it. Fires over to first, and it gets by him. Avitia thinks about rounding first, but he thinks better of it. Stays at first and is on base with an error.
Now batting your catcher, number 20, Austin Pinarini.
So it might not be the hit that Avitia was looking for, but he gets on base nonetheless. And Austin Pinarini now bats in from the left side.
You mentioned it's not what he was looking for, but it definitely works. Getting on base as we move into the latter half of this game, Miners haven't had a run across, only 5 hits. It is time to definitely start something, so this could definitely be it.
So on the scoreboard, they're going to score that as a hit, but we're going to see if we'll figure out if that's a hit or an error. Looked like the third baseman threw it away, but we're not sure if Avitia would have beaten it out or not. We'll confer after the game. So the first pitch into Pinarini was a strike. The second one is grounded towards the left side through the hole for a base hit. So the Miners are in business. Runners at first and second, but 2 away. Bringing to the plate is Kona Quiggle, looking for his 3rd hit of the day. Quiggle has been hot so far. A single in the bottom of the 2nd, a single in the bottom of the 5th. We're here in the bottom of the 6th. Runners at first and second. David Avitia stands at second. Austin Pinarini on base with a single. He's at first. Kona Quiggle batting from the left side. The first pitch from Fish is taken for a ball. Outfielders are straight away. Shortstop Kunst is keeping close to Pinarini, or keeping close to Avitia at second. The pitch to Quiggle swung on and missed. Evens up the count of 1-1.
Big swing there by Quiggle, trying to get a poke to get it over that outfield fence. As you mentioned, one of the hottest hitters in this lineup.
So Kona Quiggle sees this one go by for a ball. Puts count at 2-1. Miners are trailing the Oilers 1-0 as the catcher Cook is going to go out and talk to his pitcher.
Connor, since Quiggle is the left-hander and Fish being the thrower from the right side, it would make sense that his miss is going to be keep missing out more and more. Because if you miss inside, a little too far inside, and if it comes towards the middle of the plate, it could lead to danger for the Oilers. This is a great time for the Miners to attack and get that first run of the game.
So 2-1 the count, 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th. Runners at first and second. The pitch from Fish is outside for ball number 3. Kona Quiggle's been on base twice before, 2 hits in the game. He's looking to get on base for a 3rd straight time in hopes to giving the Miners the lead. The pitch swung on and fouled straight back and over the press box. So 3 balls, 2 strikes. The merry-go-round will be in motion. Avitia on second, Pinarini at first, Quiggle at the plate. Erickson Fish on the mound. From the stretch, he deals. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Kona Quiggle goes down swinging as the Miners are held quiet here in the bottom of the 6th. 2 hits, no runs, no errors, 2 left on base. 1 hit, no errors, 1 error, 2 left on base. We'll get that right for you. At the end of the 6th, Miners still trailing the Oilers 1-0. You're listening to the Matsu Miners on the Miner Radio.
Welcome back into the final 3 innings of action between the Oilers and Miners. Oilers currently leading the Miners 1-0 as we head into the top half of the 7th. The Oilers only with 3 hits today, but one of them being a solo shot, and therefore they are leading the Miners, who have 7 hits, but they are scoreless. The Oilers leading the Miners 1-0 in the top of the 7th inning. And stepping in for the Oilers is the left fielder Ryan Novis, the right-hander, who faces Noah Cordova, who came in last inning in relief of Jake Terry. Cordova works from the stretch. His first pitch is grounded just down the left field line past third baseman Bozetti into left field as Quiggle throws in. Novis gets on to start this inning for the Oilers.
Good first pitch swing from Novis. If he gets a pitch he likes, no reason not to swing.
So for the second time tonight, the Oilers get their leadoff man aboard. Note to mention that Jake Terry, with those 5 innings pitched, is the ties for the longest start this season for the Miners. Back in the Miners' second game, Jake Butcher went 5 innings as well. As Cordova gets Kunst looking at a strike, bring the count to 0-1. The Oilers now up to 4 hits. They've produced 1 run out of it off the solo shot from Leonhardt, and the Miners still scoreless. Cordova's pitch is high and in to Kunst, who was trying to bunt but had to hop out of the way of it as that fastball read a little too high and inside. Miners looking for this win tonight and to bring a 3-way tie to the top of the ABL with 3 teams tied at 4-3 if the Miners can come out victorious. So Cordova's pitch is high and inside again, and Kunst can't back out of the way of it in time and bunts it foul over to the right side. So Cordova heading the count 1-2. Cordova doing a nice job of settling in this game. Back in his last appearance was game 2 of a doubleheader this past Friday. He went 3 2/3 innings, in which he allowed 5 walks, 3 of which in the first inning.
Now batting third baseman number 6.
As he gets Kunst to strike out for the first out of the inning. Kunst swinging through for the first out. That's going to be Cordova's second strikeout of the game so far. Stepping in with a 1-0 lead and 1 down is third baseman Evan Berkey. Cordova's first pitch to Berkey misses inside. It's been Cordova's miss so far this inning. He falls 1-0 in the count.
Well, it's not a bad miss to miss inside. Always keeps the batter on their toes, and you don't know where the pitch is going to be.
As he checks over to first, to get Novus. And really, when you miss, you want to miss either well inside or well outside. You never want to miss in the middle of the plate. That's when danger starts to happen. As Cordova's 1-0. He kicks and deals. Misses just inside on the lower part of the plate. And with that miss, that'll bring out catcher Austin Pinarini. Pinarini doing a good job of talking to Terry and now speaking with Cordova. Just making sure he's on the right page with his pitcher. And with such tight ball game, Miners trailing 1-0. Every batter matters. Miners only scoring 1 run last night against the Chinooks. So far, they've been shut out in what's been pretty much a pitcher's duel. Cordova's 2-0. Just misses high. Bring the count to 3-0. Berkey, the third baseman, who's 0 for 3 on the day, has flown out twice and grounded out. Cordova's 3-0. Misses high and inside. Berkey had to lean back to avoid that one. And he'll move on to first. And Novus jogs over to second. So the Oilers with runners on first and second with 1 out in the top of the 7th inning.
And again, there must be a mix-up in signs. Pinarini walking out to his pitcher again.
And Pinarini coming in later, he missed those 2-3 practices that the Miners had in the beginning of the year, and that's a chance to really familiarize yourself with the pitchers. So unfortunately, he did not get that opportunity.
We'll have to learn on the fly.
So with 1 down, stepping in is the left-handed hitting Brian Leonhardt. And if that name rings a bell, he hit a solo shot for the game's only run back in the 3rd inning. So he looks at a ball high. Leonhardt just hit his home run just over that right field foul pole as he's big swinging through strike 1. Swung out of his shoes so much that his neck had some whiplash there. Count tied up at 1. Cloudy skies definitely keep bringing this light darker and darker. Cordova's pitch misses low and in to bring the count to 2-1. .53 currently in Palmer with these overcast skies. Cordova glances over at second, kicks and deals. Misses just off the plate on the upper outside corner as Leonhardt has worked himself to a full count. As I just mentioned earlier, the only run and RBI of this game off his solo shot back in the 3rd inning as he looks at a strike on the lower outside corner to bring the count full. Other than that solo shot back in the 3rd inning for Leonhardt, he struck out back in the 1st and flew out in the 5th. This time he's looking at a full count in Cordova's pitch. Misses outside for ball 4. Bases are loaded now with 2 outs for the Oilers, or rather with 1 out. So the team leader for the Oilers is now stepping into the plate, and you can't ask for much more. And Ryan Cook, who has 6 RBIs, as pitching coach Jeff Erlab steps into the plate, or calls a break into the game and will step on the mound. This break, we'd like to thank our official travel sponsor, Alaska Airlines, for safely always getting our players up here. And also the official sponsor of the Matsu Miners internet broadcast, Napa Auto Parts and owner Jim Ruda, the official sponsor of the Matsu Miners internet radio broadcast. So meeting adjourned, bases loaded, 1 out, top of the 7th inning. Oilers lead the Miners 1-0. Both teams coming off losses. The Miners on a 2-game skid. The Oilers just on a 1-game downfall. Stepping in, Ryan Cook with 1 out in the top of the 7th with the bases loaded. Cordova's first pitch is a fastball that misses high and off the plate. So back in the second, the Oilers had a similar situation in which they left them loaded, and starter Jake Turry worked out of it. Cordova trying to do the same as he delivers another fastball in the inner part of the plate for strike one. So count tied up at 1 with the bases loaded. Cordova kicks and fires, and this is popped straight up as Pinarini is under it and makes the catch behind home plate for out number 2 of the inning. That's a big out. And Cordova gives props to his catcher for making the grab. And now with 2 down, we have a force out at every base. And nice little team spirit there as you see Drew Swift clapping his hands, giving props to his pitchers, saying, hey, nice out, good work. Let's get out of this and let's get the bats out in the bottom of the 7th. As we see a batting change here.
Pinch hitting for the Oilers.
Is number 3, Grant Wood. Right-handed hitting out of Murray State. So Wood steps in to pinch hit for Bryce Big L. With the bases loaded and 2 down in the top of the 7th, Cordova trying to work out of the jam. His first pitch is in there for a strike. The Oilers trying to increase this 1-0 lead over the Miners, as this is game 1 of their 8-game road trip in 7 days. Cordova comes set. His 0-1 is grounded over to third. Bozzetti swallows it up, throws over to first, and Cordova does it. The Oilers get the bases loaded, but Cordova gets out of it and just holds the Miners to no runs and keeps their lead at 1-0. The Miners bring out the bats as they try to tie this game up or maybe even take the lead in the bottom half of the 7th inning. Back into Palmer, Alaska. The Miners trailing the Oilers 1-0 as Noah Cordova worked out of a bases-loaded jam in the top half of the inning. And that brings up the Miners' bats as they trail 1-0. Stepping in, the switch-hitting second baseman Connor Denning. Denning's 0 for 2 on the day, but this would be a great time to get your first hit to try to get the tying run aboard. So Denning, first pitch swinging through for strike number 1. So the Oilers trying to get the victory today. That would make them winners of 4 of 5. And the Miners trying to get out of a 2-game losing streak. As Denning looks at strike 2, low and away. Denning has struck out back in the 2nd inning. Denning coming into this game, 308 on base percentage as he looks at a ball on the outer half of the plate. Bring the count to 1-2. Oilers on the road, coming all the way from Kenai. As Fish comes set, he works out of the stretch always. His 1-2. Misses high. Denning thought about going. Pulled the hands back before truly committing. No one up in either pen. As the count's tied up at 2 in the bottom of the 7th. Oilers leading the Miners 1-0. The 2-2 from Fish. Just misses low. Catcher Cook thought it was a strike, ready to gun down to third for the throw around. Nevertheless, Denning has worked it full after being down 0-2. Fish, the righty, pitching to the left-handed hitting Denning, who pops one up into the left side of the field. Shallow left field. Coming in to make the grab is Novus for out number 1 of the inning. So Denning, after working the count full,
Now batting your center fielder,
flies
7,
out for out number 1.
Danny Wright.
Which brings up Danny Wright, who's definitely been one of the hottest bats of this minor lineup coming into this game. 3rd in batting average and 4th, tied for 4th in RBIs in the ABL. He's 1 for 2 on the day. Had a base hit in his last at-bat as he looks at strike 1 on the inner part of the plate. Miners just need to bring in 1 to tie this ball game up in the bottom of the 7th. As the Oilers back in the 3rd hit a solo home run. Wright looks at a ball that just missed his right leg. Wright, another switch hitter who bats from the left side facing the right-hander, Erickson Fish, who came in for relief last inning as he misses on the outer edge for a ball. Fish coming in for Trey Brown, the reliever. Fish is 2-1 with 1 out. Hits that lower outside corner for strike 2. Count tied up at 2 with 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Miners desperately looking for that first run of the game. Only scoring run number 1 yesterday against the Chinooks as Wright looks at a ball up and away. So back-to-back minor hitters that have worked the full count. Wright trying to reach a board for the 2nd time this game. Fish is 3-2. It is ball 4, so Wright turns around, flips the bat, and sprints down to first. The Miners have the tying run aboard for their leadoff hitting shortstop, Drew Swift.
That's a good eye from Danny Wright. Tempting pitch, looked to be around the strike zone and was good enough to hold it back.
And stepping out, it looks like pitching coach Ryan Doran looking down at his bullpen, wanting someone to start getting loose. As there's a man aboard now for the Miners as Swift steps in. The right-handed hitting, looks at a ball in the upper half, missing in the zone for 1-0. So Wright stands on first. Danny Wright has been caught stealing once this season as Swift swings through a strike. As the count's even up at 1. With 1 down, bottom of the 7th, the Miners trying to get that first run, which would be the tying run across. Swift swings and fouls one back to the fence to bring the count to 1-2. Miners with 7 hits in this ball game. Fortunately, haven't been able to do much with it. Yesterday, the problem was just getting the hit. Today, they have the hits, just haven't quite gotten the runs. The 1-2 to Swift. He looks at a breaking pitch that misses low. Tie the count up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Swift 1 for 3 on the day. Back in the 1st inning, he let off the Miner bats with a double. The 2-2 from Fish has Swift singing. He pops one up over to the right side of the outfield and ranging over to his right and making the catch is Kirk for out number 2 of the inning.
Your right fielder, number 14, Hunter.
So that brings up the right fielder, Hunter Jump. Jump 1 for 2, or 1 for 3 rather, on the day. A single back in the 3rd inning. And I'm sure head coach Ben Taylor, that's all he wants is just a little hit to maybe get some momentum going for the Miners. So with 2 down, Fish's first pitch to Jump is on that lower outside corner for strike 1.
Miners hoping to get a little 2-out rally here.
Fish is 0-1. Hits that similar area this time with a breaking ball to bring the count to 0-2. So Hunter Jump going to have to protect. Down 0-2 with 2 outs in the bottom of the 7th. And his Miners trailing 1-0. Danny Wright still stands on first after his walk. Fish is 0-2. Wright's on the move. The throw down from Cook is in time, but dribbles over to third. And hustling over to third is Danny Wright. So the throw down from Cook was just not in time. And on the tag, the ball squirted out. It headed over towards that shortstop third base area. And Wright very aggressively and very smart with the hustle over to third as he saw he had an opportunity and went for it. So now the Miners have a man on third with 2 outs in the bottom of the 7th. Base hit is all Hunter Jump needs as he looks at a ball on the outside corner. Outfield playing a few steps in now. As if there's something hit on the ground, they want to come in firing. Wright stands on third with speed. The 2-2 from Fish is popped up into left field. Novus under it calls everyone off and makes the grab for out number 3 of the inning. The Miners made it exciting with Wright getting all the way to third, but unfortunately, he'll watch the third out be grabbed, and the Miners still trail the Oilers 1-0 as we head into the top half of the 8th inning on Matsu Miner Radio.
And leading off for the Oilers, right fielder number 8, Matthew Kirk.
Welcome back into Herman Brothers Field as the Oilers still lead the Miners 1-0 entering this 8th inning of action. Noah Cordova, the tall right-hander, still stands on the mound for the Miners as he faces Matthew Kirk, whose first pitch swinging just over the head of shortstop Drew Swift with the line drive into the outfield as it drops in for a base hit. So back-to-back innings, the Oilers get their leadoff man on with a single.
Again, good first pitch hitting from the Oilers.
So steps in is Tyler Duke, the center fielder. He's reached twice today on 2 walks. When he was swinging, it was a strikeout back in the 4th, and he goes to bunt, fielded by Cordova over near the right field line, and it throws over for out number 1. So nice sacrifice play there from Tyler Duke.
Now batting the designated hitter number 23, Michael.
And that advances Kirk over to second. And with only 1 out now, the Oilers have a runner in scoring position once again. Last inning, if you remember, the bases were loaded and Cordova worked his way out of it as head skipper Ben Taylor makes his way to the mound. There is someone up.
Hey, well, we've got a moment. Let's give away some money, shall we? 50,
But I
50.
do not know how long. I believe it is
They didn't give me the amount. I think it may be so
Emmond.
much that I can't have it even announce.
And we will see a pitching change.
But you'll have to find out
So
for
we'll take a
yourself
quick
if
break
you're
here
Here's that win
as
number
the new Miners
99,
pitcher makes his way to the mound.
78,
And when we come back, we'll have the rest of the 8th inning
3,
for you on Matsu Miner Radio.
0.
New pitcher on the mound for the Miners as they still trail in this one 1-0 here in the top half of the 8th. The Oilers with a runner on second off the sac bunt from Duke. And stepping in to face the Oiler hitters now is 32 right-hander Malachi Emmond. And Emmond has just been the shutdown pitcher in the Miners' pen. 2 appearances, has pitched 2 innings. So that's 6 outs, Connor, that he has gotten. And 4 of those have been strikeouts. Real dominant pitcher. Power stuff, has a great breaking ball that freezes up hitters a lot. And when they aren't frozen up, we just see a lot of swings and misses. So 1 person down in the top half of the 8th inning. Michael York steps in, the designated hitter. 1 for 2 on the day. Walked back in the 2nd inning. Got a base hit in the 4th and flew out in the 6th. Emmond's first pitch hits that lower outside corner for strike 1. Emmond out of New Mexico. As I just mentioned, one of the more dominant bullpen guys for the Miners. His 0-1. Gets York swinging. That's in the first and second base gap around third and trying to score with no throw. He will score is Matthew Kirk. So the Oilers tack on 1 more to increase their lead to 2-0 over the Miners in the top of the 8th inning.
Well, it looked like a little indecision from Aaron Walters. He wasn't sure if Denning was going to run over and try to get it or whose ball that was. Hasn't played first a whole lot for the Miners yet this season. But a little indecision kind of cost an RBI.
So the sacrifice bunt pays off for the Oilers as Kirk comes around to score from second. And stepping in and swinging through a first pitch strike is Ryan Novus, the left fielder. Note to mention that York came into this game with 3 hits, has 2 right now as he stands over on first. And that run is attested to Noah Cordova. It was his base runner as Emmond misses high for ball 1. So that's Emmond's first run given up.
Well, he did have the pass ball that did come around to score in his previous outing. None of the runs that he's given up has been against him.
As Emmond misses again. 2 balls, 1 strike, 1 out in the top of the 7th. Oilers just adding on to that lead. Increase it to 2-0. As York leads off, he's about 2 strides off first base. Very conservative lead. Emmond from the stretch. Nice breaking pitch in there for strike 2. That broke at around Novus's elbows and then came into the lower half of the zone. So Emmond looking for the second out of the inning. possibly trying to work into a double play. His middle infielders are playing double play depth. Bozzetti in line with the third base bag over at third. Emmons 2-2. Nice breaking pitch. Dives in the zone for strike 3 as Novus is in disagreement walking back to his dugout. Nevertheless, that's the second out of the inning for the Miners.
Emmons really has his breaking stuff working for him today. Those past 2 curveballs or sliders were very good.
That's now 5 strikeouts on the season for Malachi Emmons. So Emmons comes set with two outs. Paul Kunst steps in, the right-handed hitter. Fouls one over to the right side for strike number 1 of the at-bat. So Emmons, as he takes a deep breath off the rubber. Miners facing a 2-run deficit. If Emmons can get Kunst out in the bottom of the 8th inning, we still sit in the top of the 8th as the Oilers have a man on first. Emmons bounces a fastball in the dirt. That's going to get by Pinarini and roll all the way to the wall, as advancing to second is Michael York. Now the Oilers, with 2 outs in the top of the 8th, have a runner in scoring position. As they try to keep this lead, slowly but surely increase it to possibly 3. But the Miners have full faith in Emmons, who's been very reliable in relief. As he comes set, count tied up at 1. Kicks and fires. Just misses with the breaking ball. Nice breaking pitch there. Started on the outer half of the zone and dove out. So Emmons falls behind 2-1. Kunst on the day is 0 for 4, striking out in his last at-bat. So Emmons comes set. He checks over to second and delivers at the plate. Misses low again to bring the count to 3-1. The Miners with a team ERA of 2.34. That's good for second best in the ABL. And they've given up 2 runs tonight, which has been a good showing for the Miners staff. So unfortunately, the bats just quite haven't been here so far this game. And I'm sure all these position players eager to get their lumber swinging again. As Emmons steps off the rubber, take a break and rerun through his signs. Counts at 3-1, 2 outs in the top of the 8th inning. Oilers lead the Miners 2-0. They have a man on second. Emmons pitch. Nice breaker in there for strike 2. Counts full with 2 outs. Emmons very confident in placing his breaking ball. As with 3 balls, normally you see a fastball from pitchers, but Emmons knows he can spot that slider. Emmons comes set. The payoff pitch. Another breaker that just misses, and Emmons in disbelief.
And he just went, raised his hand, was that up? And home plate umpire shook his head, yes. So if that missed anywhere, that was going to miss high. But it was a very close pitch to take.
So now the Oilers have 2 runners on first and second, as that's Emmons' second walk issued of the season. And 2 down, stepping in, third baseman Evan Berkey. As the Pilots have already scored earlier in this inning, increased the lead to 2-0 as Emmons misses high and in. As they scored on an RBI single from Michael York in his first RBI of the season. Actually, both RBIs tonight from the Oilers hitters are their first, as Lionheart's solo shot was his first RBI of the season, as Emmons has a nice breaking pitch in there for a strike. And Swift calling a mound meeting between his pitcher and catcher. Maybe trying to talk about throwing down or Emmond doing a pickoff play. As we saw last night against the Chinooks, David Avitia threw a runner down and picked him off from behind the plate. So this Miners defense isn't very scared to be aggressive. And Pinarini, very reliable catcher behind the dish. So back to the action. 1-1 count, 2 down, top of the 8th inning. Oilers lead 2-0 as they scored 1 run already in this inning. Emmons pitch gets Berkey to foul it off. Fouls off home plate and bounces behind to the backstop. So Emmons in the count, ahead in the count, 1-2, in search of his second strikeout of the game and 6th strikeout of the season as he walks back to the mound with home plate umpire. As Emmons just wanted a quick conversation. I'm sure it's about that breaking pitch in which home plate umpire called a ball.
It's a nice slider that really has its break. It really has it working, and it's going to fool even the best of us. It's going to freeze up hitters, and sometimes it'll freeze up an umpire.
And Emmons did the very veteran responsible thing there to just calmly talk to the umpire and ask where his pitches were placed. The 1-2 with 2 down from Emmons. It's Berkey swinging, slicing it foul over to the right side. So that count sits at 1-2 with 2 down in the top of the 8th. Emmons trying to work out of it. He's in relief of Noah Cordova. Emmons coming in this game with a runner on. 1-2 count, 2 down. Emmons kicks and fires. God, Berkey swinging on a breaking pitch. So Emmons comes in, does give up 1 run, but only 1 as the Oilers leave 2 on in the top of the 8th. We'll head to the bottom as the Miners see if they can get their first run around here on Matsu Miner Radio. A new man on the mound for the Peninsula Oilers. Stepping in is right-hander Brett Ricklefs. Ricklefs has appeared in 2 games for the Oilers, has 1 save, so he is their later in the game guy. Throughout 2 appearances, he's gone 2 1/3, giving up 1 hit, 1 run, which was earned, and 1 walk and 1 strikeout as well for the Oilers. So in the bottom of the 8th, Miners running out of time to come back, so they would like to start a rally right now. As stepping in is the 3-batter, Tyler Bozetti. Third baseman today is 0 for 3. What a time it would be to get that first hit in front of the hometown crowd. Rick delivers, And Bozzetti fouls over to the left side for strike one. Bozzetti standing in the right, facing the right-handed Rick Lefts, who comes set. Bozzetti fouls it straight back for the second strike in the at-bat. Rick Lefts, the right-hander out of Cal State Pueblo and hails from Topeka, Kansas. His 0-2 to Bozzetti. This is high and in. Just barely misses hitting Bozzetti.
And Bozzetti thought that might have hit him. He kind of looked back at home plate umpire and said, "Yeah, that kind of hit me." Might have just nicked his jersey, and he's got to sell it a little bit better.
The 1-2 from Rick Lefts with nobody out in the bottom half of the eighth. Skied high in the air over to the left side. Ranging over from the shortstop position in shallow left field is Kunst, who calls everyone off and makes the first out of the inning.
Your first baseman, number 15, Aaron Walters.
So stepping in now is the Texas A&M Aggie. First baseman Aaron Walters, the left-hander. Walters 0 for 3 today. Only one hit coming in to today's contest. Walters had his share of home runs this past spring for the Aggies. The Miners could use one right now. First pitch from Rick Lefts. Misses on the outer path, or rather hits the outside corner for strike one. Walters steps in. Rick Lefts from the belt. That's another fastball in for strike two. So Walters going to have to battle down in the count 0-2 with one out in the bottom of the eighth inning. Miners trailing the Oilers 2-0. The pitch just misses that outer edge. Similar spot to where strike two was. But this time Walters holds off. So Walters stands in. Wide stance and lays the bat on the shoulder before the pitch comes in. Walters swinging through the breaking pitch in the dirt for strike number 2 of the inning. Or rather, out number 2 of the inning.
Now batting, your designated hitter, number 22.
So that brings up
Avitia.
right-handed hitting designated hitter, David Avitia. Avitia reached on an error in his last at-bat. Ended up getting to second and did end up being stranded there back in the 6th inning. So with 2 outs, the Miners almost running out of time. And Avitia, first pitch swinging, fouls it off to the left side. As we see some action over in the Oilers bullpen. Nothing doing in the Miners pen. Oh, and 1 count to David Avitia, trying to give the Miners some life here in the bottom of the 8th. The pitch misses low and actually bounces off the foot of catcher Cook. Goes over to the left side towards the Oilers dugout.
That curveball just low and bouncing in the dirt, trying to get Avitia to bite on it, and he didn't go.
Avitia from the right side of the dish. Count tied up at 1. Rick Lefts' pitch is popped high in the air over right side foul ground. Coming in is first baseman Leonhardt to make the 3rd out of the inning. And the Miners are retired in order, 1, 2, 3. We head into this final inning of baseball here in Palmer, Alaska. Oilers leading the Miners 2-0. Oilers leading the Miners as they try to get back on the winning ways. Winning 2-0 currently, entering this final inning of play. Malachi Emmons still on the mound for the Miners. Still no one up in the Miners' pen, so Emmons, head coach Ben Taylor, looking at him to finish the job here in the ninth. An update from Anchorage, the Bucks leading the Chinooks 8-0 in the bottom of the 8th inning. That game is coming towards a close as well. Chinooks sit at 2-3, and second to last in the standings, a game and a half back, and the Bucks are 2-4 and 2 games back. So still a pretty tight race in the Alaskan Baseball League here early in the season. And we're ready for the top half of the 9th inning. Stepping in is Brian Leonhardt. Leonhardt, one of the 2 runs scored for the Oilers as he hit that solo shot back in the 3rd inning off Jake Terry. Edmond comes at him with a first pitch fastball to jump ahead 0-1. So Edmond from the stretch, always from the stretch, delivers a breaking pitch that hits that outside corner for the 2nd strike. So Leonhardt follows ahead early, 0-2. Who did reach on a walk also in this game. The 0-2 from Edmond. Just misses that outside edge for 1-2. Count sits at 1-2. Nobody out in the top of the 9th. Emmons, big breaker, just misses. Nice pitch there from Emmond. Seems a little frustrated as he tried to probably paint a little more in the outside corner. So the 1-2, Emmons sets from his chest. Just barely misses as Leonhardt started to go. Brought the hands back well in time. Bring the count full. Full count, nobody out. Top of the 9th inning. Oilers leading the Miners 2-0. Emmons comes set and fires. Breaking pitch gets Leonhardt looking. He thought it was ball 4, but home plate umpire thought otherwise. So Emmons strikes out Leonhardt to start the inning.
Emmond coming in and doing what he does, striking out the side. He's been striking out the world since entering into the ABL.
3rd strikeout of the day, 7th, rather, of the season for Emmond. So stepping now is Ryan Cook. Emmond's first pitch to him is delivered inside for a ball. This will be Emmond's longest outing of the game. Both times he's come in, he's only pitched 1 inning of work. If he can get 2 more outs, or it already is his longest inning as he delivers a ball low. It already is his longest inning, but would be 2 full innings. Ryan Cook, the catcher, is 1 for 3 on the day. Doubled back in the 2nd inning as he grounds one foul over to the left side. Cook doubled back in the 2nd, walked in the 3rd, struck out in the 5th, and flew out back in the 7th. Cook out of Stockton, California. Emmons 2-1. Barely misses that outside corner. He thought it was there, but just misses, and home plate umpire looks over at the Miners dugout and says, just this much, barely missed. Hitters count for Ryan Cook with 1 out in the top of the 9th. Emmons pitch. Big breaker, just misses high and inside, and Emmons a little disappointed in himself for allowing 1 on. So the Oilers have a runner on now with 1 down in the top of the 9th inning. They hold that 2-0 lead over the Miners. As stepping in is Grant Wood, who pinched hit back in the 7th inning. And grounded out for the 3rd out of that inning as he looks at ball 1 low and away. Grant Wood out of Murray State just finished up his freshman season out of Jefferson City, Missouri. Emmond from the stretch, 1-0, grounded over to second. Denning muffs the ball a little bit and can't get any outs as Denning had to run up to that one and just had to avoid the base runner. And when he tried to field it, he couldn't quite do so. So off the error, Grant Wood is on first, and Cook will advance to second, and the Oilers with a 2-0 lead have 2 men on.
Well, Denning heard the footsteps of Cook as he was barreling into second base, tried to rush a play and get double play, but he should have just went to first.
So first error of the ball game for the Miners comes at a pretty crucial time. Still 1 out as Matthew Kirk steps in. So righty on lefty matchup as Emmond delivers a fastball, just misses on the outer edge. Bring the count to 1-0. Kirk's reached twice tonight on 2 walks as he looks to put something in play and possibly extend this Oilers lead as it's already 2-0 over the Miners. Emmons 1-0. This is low again to extend the count to 2-0. Emmond takes a little longer off the rubber this time to deep breath in, relax. He looks in, runners on first and second. Wood on first and Cook on second. 1 down, top of the 9th. Emmond, it's 2-0. Big breaker in for strike 1. Nice pitch there from Malachi Emmond.
That slider really is his go-to pitch. He likes throwing it, and he can throw for strikes.
So Emmond now sitting in a 2-1 count against Matthew Kirk. The 2-1. It's Cook thinking about it. Pinarini stops it, throws down to third. It is not in time, as there was no call there by the third base umpire, but was assumed that it was safe. So as both runners advance on the ball in the dirt, the Miners have to bring the infield in. Infield's in on a 3-1 count, and they're going to go ahead and walk Matthew Kirk to load the bases up, as first base is open. So Kirk reaches, and the bases are juiced once again for the Oilers tonight. I believe it is the 3rd time tonight that the Oilers have all 3 men aboard. And pitching coach Jeff Erlab takes a visit to the mound, and so does the rest of the Miners infield, as this is a pretty important time of the game. 1 out, top of the 9th. Oilers leading the Miners 2-0. They have the bases loaded. And meeting adjourned. This is the first time really any team has gotten Emmond into a bit of trouble, as he'll look to work his way out of it against center fielder Tyler Duke.
Emmett has always come on in short bursts. Miners trying to see if he can go 2 innings and still stay scoreless.
So Tyler Duke steps in, the center fielder out of Murray State, and hails from Pinson, Alabama. Pinson does not have an RBI yet on the season. Does have 3 walks and 4 hits entering the game. So the Miners at double play depth, and the corners are playing in. Outfield for the Miners is a few steps in as well. First pitch into Duke is a fastball high and in for ball 1. There's a man up in the pen for the Miners. Also a man up in the pen for the Oilers. Emmons 1-0. Taken on the inner part of the plate for strike 1. Count at 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 down, top of the 9th. Oilers leading the Miners 2-0. Oilers looking to extend their lead in the ABL with a win tonight. Emmons, 1-1, in there for strike 2. He's ahead of the count, 1-2. This would be a huge strikeout for Emmons with the bases loaded. As Emmons comes set, kicks and fires. Big breaker just misses high. As some of the fans a little in disagreement, even the bench over there for Matsu. So counts tied up at 2, 1 down. Emmons comes set. Kicks and deals. The 2-2 gets Duke swinging through for strike 3. And the second out of the inning. Big strikeout there from Malachi Emmons. His 4th of this game. Through an inning and 2/3 pitched. So out of the 5 batters that Emmons has retired, 4 have been strikeouts. That ties his season total and obviously increases it now to 8 strikeouts for Malachi Emmons out of New Mexico. He'll need one more out, though, to get out of this bases loaded jam. So he comes set. His first pitch just misses on the outside. It's 23, Michael Yorg. And if you remember last inning, Yorg stepped up to the plate and delivered big for his first RBI of the game on an RBI single to increase that Oilers lead 2-0 last inning. Emmons comes set and fires. Misses once again just outside. As Yorg has worked the count 2-0.
Malachi trying to pitch to the outside corner, not really getting the call from the home plate umpire.
Count sits at 2-0. Righty Emmons against lefty Yorg. So everyone in normal depth for Matsu. The 2-0. This time it hits that outside corner for strike 1. Count of 2-1 with 2 outs in the top of the 9th.
And there's the slider again. It bends right back into the strike zone. So after 2 fastballs outside, he comes back, gets a strike with the slider.
Emmons coming set. His pitch 2-1 got York swinging through a nice breaking pitch on the outer half of the plate, which was virtually looked unhittable. And the count tied up at 2 with 2 down. Emmons looking to slam the door on this possible Oilers rally as they have all 3 aboard in the top half of the 9th with 2 outs. Emmons 2-2 pitch. Just misses the outside corner. Yorg has worked it full. So if Yorg draws a walk, he will reach and the Oilers will tack on 1 more. But you can't count out Malachi Emmons, who already has 4 strikeouts on the night and would really want 1 more. He comes set. The payoff pitch. Hits the outside corner for strike number 3. What a pitch for Malachi Emmons, who works his way out of a big jam. And the Oilers once again cannot execute on a bases loaded situation. So the Miners head into the bottom half of the 9th inning, trailing 2-0, and they look to possibly walk off and create a 3-way tie at the top of the ABL when we come back on Matsu Miner Radio. The Miners looking to tie it up in the bottom of the 9th inning, trailing 2-0 to the Oilers. And due up in this bottom 9th is Austin Pinarini, Kona Quiggle, and Connor Denning. So Quiggle is the man on deck right now, and he definitely is the hottest bat today for Matsu. But first up is Austin Pinarini, the left-handed hitting catcher. He's 1 for 3 on the day, got a base hit in his last at-bat. Would love to do one more. And still on the pitch is the right-hander Brett Recklifs. Recklifs came up and set the Miners down in order in the bottom of the 8th. So Pinarini stands in, down to bottom of the 9th. The Miners need a little rally in the valley action here in Palmer. Pinarini, his first pitch swinging, fouls it over to the left side. And as always, the Miners playing the sound effect of broken glass anytime there's a foul ball that skies behind the press box. So Pinarini, the left-hander, 3 for 8 entering this game with a .375 on base percentage. He's down in the count 0-1. The pitch misses low and inside. Ties up the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. And the Miners are a little experienced in this close game situation. Back in game 2 on Sunday, they were down 2 and ended up coming all the way back as Pinarini fouls it back over to the left side. They were down 4-2 and scored 2 runs in the bottom half. Actually, they were down to their final out and scored both of those runs as Pinarini is down in the count 1-2. To Reckless. His pitch. Pinarini slaps it over, just getting by the shortstop Kunst for a base hit is Austin Pinarini. That was just out. The outstretched diving glove is Kunst. So Pinarini, the leadoff man, reaches. And that brings up the hottest man of the Miners lineup today, Kona Quiggle. He's 2 for 3 with 2 singles. Did strike out in his last at-bat, but has definitely been seeing the ball well today. So Pinarini on first, the tying run at the plate, and Kona Quiggle in the bottom of the 9th. Miners trail the Oilers 2-0. Reckless first pitch hits the outer edge for the first strike of the at-bat to Quiggle. Quiggle entering this game with 2 RBIs. Possibly would like one more if he can get a big extra base hit to get Pinarini all the way around. The 0-1 is in the dirt to Quiggle, who raises up his right hand, telling Pinarini to hold it first. Count tied up at 1 now between the right-hander, Brett Recklefs, and the left-handed hitting Kona Quiggle. Recklefs comes set from the belt. His 1-1 misses high and away for ball 2. 2-1 with nobody out in the bottom of the 9th inning. The Miners looking to bring it back and try to tie this game and possibly win it. As they're on a 2-game skid, they would like to end that tonight. The 2-1 to Quiggle. He looks at a strike on the outer half. Looks back and has a few words to the home plate umpire. Simply asking where it was. So count tied at 2. Quiggle has to protect now with 2 strikes. The pitch from Reckless. Swung and missed by Quiggle. He goes down for the second time tonight on strikes, and that'll give the first out of the inning for the Oilers. And we see a pinch hitter. Right-handed hitting second baseman Brett Owen will pinch hit for Connor Denning. So Brett Owen looking to bring some magic. First pitch to Owen is inside for a strike. So Owen falls to 0-1. Austin Pinarini stands on first. Owen stands in at the dish. He'd be the tying run if he were to happen to come around to score in the bottom half of the 9th inning. The 0-1 to Owen. He looks at a ball low and away.
Well, I know you can't see it now, but Miners players are outside the dugout. There is one giant rally cap. Can't see the number on the player, but all the caps in the dugout appear to be on his head.
You gotta love it. The 1-1 to Owen misses low and away for ball 2. Brett Owen comes into this at-bat 3 for 8 so far on the season. Does have an RBI. Did not see the start tonight, but comes in a big moment here for the Miners as they're down 2 in the bottom of the 9th with 1 down. Peninsula with the lead off on first. Recklifs checks him off and then delivers. A nice fastball in for strike 2. Count now tied up at 2. And Owen going to have to protect here with 2 strikes. Recklifs comes set. Long glance at first, kicks and fires, misses low. Nice block there by Cook as Peninsula got an aggressive lead, thought about heading, but Cook kept it in front of him as it bounced well in front of the plate. Count is full now to Brett Owen, 3-2. The Miners have won 4 in a row dating back to last year against the Oilers. They look to extend that streak to 5 tonight. And will need to get 2 runs to extend the game, 3 to win in this bottom half of the 9th inning. As Brett Owen calls time, takes a step out of the box, deep breath. Counts full, 1 down, top of the 9th. Peninsula stands on first. The tying run at the plate is Brett Owen, who looks at ball 4, and the tying man is aboard for the Miners. Nice at-bat there from Brett Owen.
Really good plate discipline. You know, the Miners need base runners. So he's not going to be selfish and try to swing and go for the fences. Even though that can tie it up, you want to get more. You want to keep the line moving, keep the train going, and see more Miners batters at the plate.
You mentioned patient hitting. That is now the 6th walk drawn by Brett Owen. And what man would you rather have at the plate right now than Danny Wright? Came into this game 3rd in batting average in the ABL, leads the Miners in batting average. On the night, he is 1 for 2 with a hit and back in the 5th inning and walked in his last at-bat in the 7th. He comes on now. He's the winning run. Runners on first and second for the Miners in the bottom of the 9th as they trail by 2. Wright first pitch swinging, fouls it over to the left side for strike 1. Danny Wright, the switch hitting center fielder. Could definitely use another one of those Danny Wright hits right now to give the Miners some life and try to extend this game and maybe even win it. So Rick Lefts comes set, takes a glance over at second at Peninsula and comes to the plate, delivers a strike on the outer edge. So Danny Wright falls ahead early, 0-2. So Owen on first, Peninsula on second. Outfield playing back. No doubles depth. As Rick Lefts comes set from the belt. His 0-2 pitch with 1 down in the bottom of the 9th. Misses outside and low. Good hold off there from Danny Wright. That was a waste pitch there from Brett Rick Lefts. Rick Lefts facing the left-handed Wright, who's a switch hitter batting lefty against the righty. The 0-2 gets Wright swinging through for strike number 3. And now the Miners are down to their final out in the bottom of the 9th.
Your shortstop number 2, Drew Swift.
That was a good curveball to get Danny Wright. He was out in front. Really nothing he can do once he started to swing.
So now stepping in is the right-handed hitting Drew Swift. 1 for 4 on the night. He comes in. He is the winning run at the plate. Tying run on first. Miners down 2-0 to the Oilers with 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th. Swift looks at a first pitch fastball low and in for a strike. So outfield still playing back, and the Oilers defense is playing near that outfield grass with 2 outs. Rick Lefts takes a long look at second. Now into Swift, misses low, just over the plate to bring the count to 1-1. So Drew Swift stands in, 1 RBI on the season. The Arizona State Sun Devil could use another hit here, Especially another extra base hit would be huge. Owen has speed out there on first. Pinarini on second. One run from Ricklefs. It's swung on by Swift in the hole between short and third. Pinarini is around third. Rather, Coach Ben Taylor holds him up as Pinarini almost had to slide to stop himself. Coming around third. So the bases are juiced now off the Drew Swift base hit. So stepping in now with the bases juiced, 2 down in the bottom of the ninth. It's going to be left-handed hitting right fielder Hunter Jump. And we'll see the pitching coach Ryan Doran head out to the mound. There is action in the Oilers bullpen. Left-hander up.
Tonight's games, first of 4 in a row right here at Herman Brothers Field for the Miners. These same 2 teams.
So we see Pinarini on third. He led the inning off with a leadoff single.
Coming your way at 7 o'clock.
And then Brett Owen came in to pinch hit for Connor Denning. He reached on a walk. And Owen now standing on second. And then Swift comes in and reaches as he lines one in between short and third with a really nice base hit. So the Miners with a great opportunity now with the winning run at first, tying run on second. And Hunter Jump at the plate. Jump 1 for 4 on the day. Did come into this game with 4 doubles. Singled back in the third inning. Does have 3 RBIs. And the Miners could use 2 big ones if Jump can get an extra base hit. So the Oilers defense, the outfielders are playing back. And the infielders are playing towards that outfield grass. Meeting adjourned, and we're back to the action. Ricklef's first pitch to Jump is popped up into the right side of the infield. And camped under it is Grant Wood. He makes the grab and retires the side. And that'll do it tonight in Palmer. So the Miners losing a close one just as we thought they might have some magic here in the bottom of the ninth. The Oilers come out victorious 2-0. So the winning pitcher tonight will be Trey Brown of the Oilers, and taking the loss tonight is Jake Terry. As Brett Reckless comes in, 2 scoreless innings to end the game for the Miners, or for the Oilers rather. And the Miners will drop to 3-4, and the Oilers will extend their lead over the Pilots to a full game now as they improve to 5-2. And an excellent start for the Oilers. So the Miners will be back in action at home again against the Oilers as they look to avenge tonight's loss tomorrow night at 7. And once again, your final score from here in Palmer, or rather, there will be our post-game show after this game with head coach Ben Taylor and our player of the game. So look forward to that. And for one last time, this is Brad Walker. Alongside me is Connor Mills. And the Oilers winning a close one over the Miners 2-0. Been a pleasure on Matsu Miners Radio.